Brothers, I'm back with another horror movie. Today, it's still part of the Mekong series titled The Doll Contract. Xiaomi is a victim of domestic violence. To escape her abusive boyfriend, she decides to work as a nanny for a wealthy family. Upon arriving, the driver tells her that the homeowners are out and asks her to wait in the living room. Xiaomi enters the house and notices how clean it is. As a polite gesture, she takes off her shoes. As she walks further inside, she hears a strange noise. Thinking someone might be there, she heads upstairs. When she reaches the second floor, she sees a photo of the family of 3. The noise happens again and she goes to investigate but finds no one. Then she notices a bedroom door ajar. She enters and sees a table full of toys. Xiaomi picks up a toy and starts playing with it. Suddenly, a man greets her, startling Xiaomi and causing her to drop the toy. The man quickly apologizes. During their conversation, Xiaomi learns that the man is named Da Shan. He runs a grocery store and comes once a week to deliver food and drinks. After that, they head to the kitchen. Da Shan mentions that he has some fortune-telling skills. He says that by looking at the gum in Xiaomi's mouth, he can tell why she came here. Skeptical but curious, Xiaomi gives him the gum. Da Shan examines it and says that Xiaomi came here to escape someone. Hearing this, Xiaomi's expression changes, and she throws the gum into the trash. Xiaomi then asks Da Shan about the homeowner's son. However, Da Shan hesitates and doesn't know how to explain. As they talk, the homeowners return. They notice Xiaomi isn't wearing shoes and ask her to put them on. Xiaomi goes to her luggage but finds her shoes missing. The lady of the house suggests that her child might have played a prank. Fortunately, Xiaomi has another pair of shoes. After putting them on, they go upstairs. To her surprise, Xiaomi discovers that the child they mentioned is actually a doll. She finds it amusing. But seeing the serious expressions on the couple's faces, her smile fades. The couple then introduces their son to Xiaomi. The doll is named Xiaodi. Xiaomi shakes hands with Xiaodi, as her job is to take care of him. The lady of the house gives Xiaomi some instructions. She says they've hired many nannies before, but Xiaodi didn't like any of them. They go to the bedroom, and the lady tells Xiaomi to wake Xiaodi at 7 a.m. every day, dress him, and play music for him daily. After dinner, the homeowner speaks to Xiaomi. He says that to protect the house, Xiaomi must regularly check the mousetraps. He also shares some personal thoughts, saying that although their son's situation seems unusual, he believes their child is still with them. At night, while the couple is talking to Xiaodi, they notice Xiaomi at the door and ask her to leave for a moment. Shortly after, the lady comes out and says that Xiaodi likes Xiaomi and has chosen her. Xiaomi feels both surprised and uneasy. She keeps staring at Xiaodi suspiciously. Later, Xiaomi calls her friend using the landline. She mentions that there's no signal or internet here. During their conversation, her friend tells her that her ex-boyfriend, Da Zhuang, has been looking for her. Xiaomi panics and asks her friend not to reveal her whereabouts. The next day, the homeowners prepare to leave. The man says they're going on a vacation and will leave Xiaomi alone in the house. He gives her a list of rules she must follow because Xiaodi is a special child. They also say that Da Shan will deliver her salary. They tell her that if she treats Xiaodi well, he will treat her well too. However, if she doesn't, they fear Xiaomi might get scared, so they don't elaborate further. After that, they leave reluctantly. Once they're gone, Xiaomi thinks the doll is just a regular doll and places Xiaodi on a chair. Feeling uneasy, she covers him with some clothes. Unintentionally, Xiaomi falls asleep in the chair. When she wakes up, it's already night, and she notices the clothes covering Xiaodi have fallen off. Angry, she throws Xiaodi onto another chair. Later, while Xiaomi is asleep, she hears a child crying. She takes a candle and goes downstairs. The sound seems to be coming from the lower floor. When she reaches the first floor, she's drawn to a painting. As she examines it closely, a pair of hands suddenly appears. Xiaomi wakes up and realizes it was just a dream. She's terrified. Not long after, she hears the child crying again. Out of curiosity, she looks at Xiaodi and sees tears streaming from the doll's eyes. Xiaomi touches it and feels something strange. Suddenly, a drop of water falls. Xiaomi looks up and realizes the ceiling is leaking. She picks up Xiaodi and places him on the bed. The next day, Da Shan comes to deliver Xiaomi's salary. Xiaomi asks him about Xiaodi. Da Shan explains that 20 years ago, on Xiaodi's 8th birthday, he died in an accident. Strangely, shortly after his death, the doll mysteriously appeared. Daisen suggests taking Xiaomi to town for some fun and promises not to tell the homeowners. Xiaomi agrees. Xiaomi decides to take a shower and change clothes before going out. However, something strange happens. Her clothes suddenly disappear, followed by her necklace. When she looks in the mirror after showering, she finds that her hair has been cut by someone. Xiaomi thinks there's a thief in the house and goes to investigate. She finds the staircase to the attic open. Xiaomi grabs a weapon and heads up. But as soon as she reaches the attic, the staircase closes on its own and won't open again. Xiaomi tries to make noise to attract Da Shan's attention, but he doesn't hear her and drives away. Xiaomi then looks for tools to open the staircase. Suddenly, a man appears, scaring Xiaomi so much that she faints. The next day, she wakes up and realizes the man was just a coat rack. She looks down and finds a photo album filled with pictures of Xiao, Dai, As she flips through it, the attic staircase opens again. Xiao Mei goes down and calls, "Da Shan." They realize the staircase is just old and broken. Since her clothes are missing, Xiao Mei is convinced someone is still in the house. She asks Da Shan to stay with her. She also asks more about Xiao Di. Da Shan says there are two versions of the story about Xiao Di in their town. The first is that he was a good child who died too young, while the darker version is that he was a strange child with a difficult personality. Unbeknownst to them, every word they say is heard by Xiao Di. Shortly after, Da Shan leaves. While Xiao Mei is showering, she sees a shadow behind her. She goes to Xiao Di's room and finds it in disarray. Xiao Mei feels uneasy as Xiao Di keeps staring at her. She tries to turn his head away, but suddenly, Xiao Di turns back and gives her an eerie look. Xiao Mei wakes up and realizes it was just a dream. She tries to calm herself and leaves the room. When she opens the door, she finds the missing shoes placed in front of it. She goes to Xiao Di's room and sees that Xiao Di is sitting up. With the list of rules the homeowners gave her beside him, it's clear that Xiao Mei has broken many of the rules. Terrified, she runs back to her room. Suddenly, the phone rings. She answers it and hears a child's voice calling her name. Xiao Mei panics and throws the phone. Before she can calm down, she hears Xiao Di's voice outside the door, and something is placed there. Carefully, Xiao Mei opens the door and finds breakfast. At this moment, she realizes that Xiao Di has no ill intentions. Xiao Mei then goes to Xiao Di and notices the list of rules she had broken. She finally understands that everything Xiao Di did was to make her follow the rules. Before continuing with the next part of the story, don't forget to subscribe to stay updated and never miss out. The scene changes. The two homeowners pick up a stone and put it in their pockets. It turns out that this time they are not on vacation, but are going to end their lives. Then they hold hands and slowly walk into the sea. Before leaving, they write a letter to Xiao Di. Eventually, the two drown in the depths of the ocean and take their last breaths. Meanwhile, Xiao Mei begins living her daily life by following the existing rules. One day, Da Shan comes to deliver goods and realizes that Xiao Mei seems different. Da Shan also says that he has picked up a letter for Xiao Mei, but she only asks him to put it down and leave. After Da Shan leaves, Xiao Mei stares at Xiao Di. She wants Xiao Di to talk to her, but he remains silent. While preparing food, Xiao Mei turns around and realizes that Xiao Di has disappeared. She approaches and finds Xiao Di hiding in a corner. Shortly after, Xiao Mei calls Da Shan. She wants to prove to him that the doll, Xiao Di, is alive. They then go to Xiao Di's room. Xiao Mei places Xiao Di on the floor and draws a circle around him with chalk. Then they return to Xiao Mei's room. Xiao Mei knocks on the wall, and the sound of a rose appears. Da Shan is shocked. When they open the door, Xiao Di has completely disappeared. Just as they are celebrating, they see Xiao Di standing behind the door. After understanding the situation, they go for a walk. Xiao Mei tells Da Shan about her ex-boyfriend, Da Zhuang. She explains that Da Zhuang was often violent in their relationship. Even though he promised to change after she got pregnant, he reverted to his old ways, which caused her to have a miscarriage. Da Shan comforts Xiao Mei, and their bond grows closer. That night, Da Shan suggests that Xiao Mei leave the place, but she refuses, feeling responsible for staying. Da Shan then shares some information about Xiao Di. He explains that a little girl used to play with Xiao Di frequently. However, on Xiao Di's birthday, the girl left and never returned. Her body was later found in the forest with her skull crushed. The police called Xiao Di's parents, but by the time they arrived home, Xiao Di's room was already on fire. Xiao Di perished in the blaze, and the girl's murderer was never found. Da Shan believes that Xiao Di was the killer. Despite everything Da Shan tells her, Xiao Mei still refuses to leave. After Da Shan leaves, Xiao Mei goes to the attic and retrieves a photo album. She finds a picture of the little girl, confirming that Da Shan was telling the truth. The next day, while walking with Xiao Di, Xiao Mei hears the sound of billiards being played. Thinking it is Da Shan, she follows the noise, only to discover that her ex-boyfriend, Da Zhuang, has found her. That night, Da Zhuang tries to persuade Xiao Mei to return home with him and even reveals that he has already booked plane tickets. As they talk, Da Shan arrives to deliver goods and immediately recognizes Da Zhuang. Da Shan makes up an excuse to call Xiao Mei outside, and together, they begin planning how to get rid of Da Zhuang. However, Da Zhuang suddenly appears, forcing Da Shan to leave reluctantly. Da Zhuang is not foolish. He immediately senses that something is off. During a break, he tells Xiao Mei that no matter where she runs, he will always find her. He demands that she pack her things. Xiao Mei looks at Xiao Di helplessly, hoping that he can help her. The scene changes. Da Shan has not actually left. He is only sleeping in his car. Soon something strange happens. A few drops of blood drip onto Da Zhuang's face. Enraged, he shouts for Xiao Mei. Xiao Mei wakes up and realizes that Xiao Di is missing. As soon as she steps outside, Da Zhuang grabs her. On the glass, the words, "Leave this place," are written. Da Zhuang is furious, assuming it was Xiao Mei's doing, but she looks toward Xiao Di instead. Sensing danger, Xiao Mei quickly embraces Xiao Di. Da Zhuang also suspects Xiao Di is responsible and demands that Xiao Mei hand him over. In their struggle, Da Zhuang manages to seize Xiao Di. Dashan arrives just in time and demands that Da Zhuang leave. However, an enraged Da Zhuang throws Xiao Di to the floor, shattering him into pieces. Suddenly, a strange sound comes from upstairs. As everyone is confused, Da Zhuang realizes that the sound is coming from a mirror. Out of nowhere, the mirror shatters, revealing a secret passageway inside. Then, an iconic scene unfolds. A masked man slowly crawls out. Dashan immediately recognizes him as Xiao Di. Soti has a clear purpose. He directly attacks Da Zhuang and stabs him in the neck with a shard from the broken doll. Then, Xiao Di captures Xiao Mei. Fortunately, Dashan arrives just in time and knocks Xiao Di unconscious. Dashan helps Xiao Mei escape and they run into a room. There, Xiao Mei accidentally discovers a hidden passage. As they run, Xiao Di chases after them. While navigating the passage, they find a room. Xiao Mei finally understands that the real Xiao Di has been living there. She also discovers all the missing belongings on Xiao Di's bed. On a table, Xiao Mei finds a letter. After reading it, she realizes that the homeowners had arranged her marriage to Xiao Di without her consent. Dashan pulls Xiao Mei away to keep running, but suddenly Xiao Di appears again. Dashan kicks him, knocking him out. As they continue running, they find that the exit is locked. To buy time for Xiao Mei, Dashan chooses to face Xiao Di alone. However, without a weapon, Dashan is quickly overpowered by Xiao Di. Just as Xiao Di is about to capture Xiao Mei, she manages to unlock the exit. However, Xiao Di warns her that if she leaves, he will kill Dashan. After running for a while, Xiao Mei decides to return to save Dashan. She enters the house and grabs a screwdriver to defend herself. As she walks, she encounters Xiao Di. Quickly, she hides the screwdriver in her pocket. Xiao Di approaches her but does not intend to harm her. Suddenly, Xiao Mei shouts and orders Xiao Di to sleep. Xiao Di obediently lies down on the bed. As Xiao Mei prepares to leave, Xiao Di asks for a kiss. Seeing an opportunity, Xiao Mei pretends to lean in for a kiss, while secretly pulling out the screwdriver and stabbing Xiao Di. In pain, Xiao Di pushes Xiao Mei 10 meters away. He then stands up and begins choking her. As Xiao Mei is on the verge of death, she tightly grips the screwdriver and drives it deeper into his body. Xiao Di collapses to the floor, looking at Xiao Mei with deep pain. It turns out that the fire did not kill Xiao Di but left him with severe burns. Since then, Xiao Di has suffered from autism. Xiao Mei then finds Dashan and realizes that he is still alive. She drives him away from the place. At the end of the story, Xiao Di does not die. Alone in the house, he painstakingly reassembles the broken doll. I believe that Xiao Di's heart is just like that doll. No matter how much he tries to fix it, there will always be cracks. With that, the film comes to an end. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell at the end of the video so you won't miss any other exciting stories.